Welcome to Radiance Yoga Online. I'm Shannon, and today I'm going to bring you through an intermediate flow. In this flow, we're going to keep our movement connected with our breath, and we'll focus on a little bit of twisting and hip opening. You don't need any props for this practice, but if you have yoga blocks or sturdy objects that you'd like to use at the top of your mat, and maybe a blanket that you'd like to use at the end of the practice, then please feel free to grab those now. When you're ready, join me at the top of your mat in Tadasana. Arriving with just a few breaths to settle. You might rock a little bit into the toes and the heels, maybe side to side to feel the edges of your feet. Let your arms fall heavy by your side, and then when you feel balanced, find stillness somewhere where you're grounded into all the edges of your feet equally. We'll take a big inhale to turn those palms forward, relaxing your arms by your side and lifting taller through your heart and the crown of your head. But when you exhale, there's this feeling of settling, gently bending the knees and grounding into the feet. Take a couple more breaths with me here. Next inhale, rise through your palms. Your chest and your chin can follow if that feels okay for the neck. Exhale as you bend your knees with a long spine, swan dive into your forward fold. Let your head, neck, and shoulders hang heavy. Inhale as your fingertips trace up to your shins and we lift to a flat back, long from your tailbone to your head. Exhale as we fold heavy. Inhale as we sit the hips back, look forward as we rise through your chest, your palms and your chin again. And exhale as your hands ground down the midline, forehead, nose, lips, and chin. Bend the knees, ground into the feet, Tadasana. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, long spine to fold. Inhale, trace the fingers, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sit your hips back, drive down into the strength of your legs to rise. Exhale as your hands meet and draw down through the midline, letting your arms fall back to Tadasana. Inhale as the arms rise. Exhale, long spine to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your hips back, drive down into the feet, rise to the heart. Step your feet together this time. Squeeze your legs together as you draw down through the midline. Arms fall by your side. Tadasana, the inner edges of your feet touch. Big inhale as your arms rise. Exhale, cactus your arms, your palms turn forward, your elbows are wide as you draw your hips back into chair. Belly is strong and your heart and head are lifting in a long line. Take another big inhale. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale to rise. Exhale, long spine, forward fold. Your fingertips can find the floor or can find your blocks. Inhale, sit your hips back, step that right foot back, tap the knee, and rise up to a low lunge. Exhale as your hands find the floor and step your left foot back to plank. Now for this first round, drop your knees, lean forward. Squeeze your elbows by your side and your chest and chin lead the way with your belly lifted. Inhale as you slide yourself out long to baby cobra. Exhale, press down into the hands and knees. Spread your fingers. Grip the mat with your hands and send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Notice the bend in my knees so I can really draw my ribs back to my thighs, taking the weight out of my hands. You might begin to drop the heels. Take one more breath with me. Inhale as your right foot steps forward between your hands. Drop the back knee and rise to your low lunge. Exhale as your fingertips find your blocks or the top of your mat, and step your left foot up next to your right. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your hips, stride down into the feet, rise, stand. Exhale, hands trace down, Tadasana. Inhale, your arms rise. Step your feet together. Exhale, cactus your arms, elbows wide, heart open. Your spine is long in chair. Sit a little deeper, one more breath. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale, long spine to fold. Fingertips touch your blocks or the mat. Inhale, step your left foot back. Tap your knee. Rise tall to low lunge. Ribs lifting away from hips. Exhale, your hands find the floor. Step your right foot back to plank. Now you can take this from your knees or your toes, wherever you are. Lean forward, hug your elbows in, let your chest lead the way, halfway or all the way. Inhale to Cobra or up dog. Exhale, press down into your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, press your ribs back to your thighs. Grip the mat. And turn the pits of your elbows forward with a slight bend. Drop the heels, take another breath with me. Inhale, your left foot steps between the hands. Tap the right knee down. Rise to your low lunge. Exhale, fingertips come to blocks or the top of your mat. Step your right foot forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sit your hips back. Rise to stand. Step your feet together. And as you exhale, let your hands melt down to Tadasana. A little change this time. Big inhale, your arms float. Exhale, as you squeeze your legs together, push your hips back, chop your arms down to the left. Equally press back into your right hip. You're using your core to wrap your right ribs to the left, reach to the crown of your head. Inhale, rise to the center. Exhale, long spine to fold. Inhale, step your right foot back. Drop the knee and rise to your low lunge. Now exhale as the hands drop behind the head. We keep pulling our ribs away from the thighs. Inhale, open the heart, spread your elbows wider. Exhale as we tuck the chin and curl, twist your right shoulder towards that left inner thigh. Inhale as we rise. Exhale, crunch your right ribs towards the left inner thigh. Inhale, rise and open the heart. Exhale, last time, create that deep crunch. Inhale as we rise. Exhale, allow your hands to find the floor. Step your right foot back to plank, inhale. Exhale from your knees or toes, lean forward, halfway or all the way, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog with a strong belly, reach to your head. Exhale to downward facing dog, take 3 breaths. Working on the weight of the heels dropping, but not compromising your weight coming forward into the hands. Inhale, your right foot steps forward. Tap the left knee, just rise to lunge. Exhale, your hands come to blocks or to the mat. Step it up, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit to rise. Exhale, hands melt down. Tadasana. Feeling your breath, feeling your heart rate. Inhale, arms rise. Step your feet together. Exhale as you push your hips back, squeeze your inner thighs, and chop your arms down to the right. Now try to push your left hip back equally. Wrap your left ribs to your right and reach to your your head. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale, long spine to fold. Inhale, sit. Step your left foot back to lunge, drop your knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands behind the head. Inhale, pull your elbows open. Drive down into the right knee and lift up with the core. Exhale, wrap your left side in towards your right inner thigh and twist. Inhale as we rise. Exhale, curl and twist. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, wrap your left ribs to the right. Inhale one more time, extend, open the heart. Exhale, find your hands on the floor. Inhale, step it back to plank. Exhale, knees or toes, hug your elbows in halfway. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Aim your heels down and back, your ribs back. Take 3 breaths. Spread your fingers, especially press into your thumb and your pointer finger. Soften the shoulders. And then drive it down into the hands, feeling stronger in the shoulders. Inhale, your left foot steps forward. Tap the knee, rise to lunge. Exhale, your hands come to blocks or the top of your mat, fold. Inhale, sit to rise. Exhale, hands draw down, Tadasana. Take a moment, adjusting, letting your arms fall by your side, and notice what's changing. Your breath rate, your heart rate. Feeling more grounded in the feet, more sensation through the body. You can take anything you need. Now moving on to advance our flow. Spine Tadasana. Step the inner feet together, thighs touching. Use the inner thighs towards one another. Take a big inhale, draw your arms up. Exhale as you draw your hands to your heart, your elbows wide, heart mudra. And then wrap your right ribs to the left. You can hook your right elbow to your left thigh, but don't punch there. Push your hips back evenly, especially that right side. Lift your heart to your thumbs and lift to the crown of your head. Breathe, and every time you exhale, you wrap your belly in tighter. Now, ground into your left foot. Can you start to lift your right foot and step your right foot back to your twisted lunge? Yes. When you land, lift your heart back to your thumbs, reach to the crown of your head, and push back to that right heel. Lift the back of this right thigh up towards the ceiling, so the leg is more active.
I play this thing to no one.
Good. As you inhale, drop your right heel inward. Open your right arm and then your left arm and sink into the left knee. Warrior 2. We're lining up the front heel with the back heel, bending deeper and pressing into the outer edges of our feet. Your arms just float from here. Sink in a little deeper, take another breath. Now inhale, reverse triangle, reach up and out of that left side. Lift your right toes. Your left toes. Turn those left toes and walk your hands down to your right ankle. A wide shuttle fold with a big side reach. Crawl a little further, reaching through your fingers, and keep pushing your left hip back equally in the center. Now walk those hands back through the middle, around to frame your left foot, plant your hand, and step your left foot back to plank. Reach through your head, reach through your heels from your knees or toes. Lean it forward. Hug your elbows in as you exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take 3 breaths.
I cannot hide it, and it feels better when the lights go down again. We can both give in.
Inhale, your right foot steps between your hands. Tap your left knee down. Rise to low lunge. Exhale, your hands fold forward, blocks or floor. Step it up to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit to rise to the heart. Exhale, hands drop down, Tadasana. Arms heavy by your side, shoulders relaxed, feet grounded. Pause for a breath. Inhale, arms rise. Step your feet and your inner thighs together. Exhale, hands come back to heart mudra. Twist your left ribs to the right as you push your hips back equally into chair. Especially your left hip and back, your heart rising to your palms. As we exhale, twist deeper in the core. Ground down into your right foot. Lift your left foot. Slide it back, twisted lunge. Once you land, lift your heart to your thumb. Press the back of your left thigh up to the ceiling, reach to the heel. Now your left arm reaches forward as your left heel turns down. We open up into warrior 2. Lining up my heels. Toes to the side, toes to the front. I bend in a little deeper and my shoulders and arms just float. Sink in, take another breath with me. Inhale, reverse triangle. Lift your right toes. Turn as we fold down to your left ankle at the back of your mat. Tiptoe your fingers a little farther, reaching longer down your right side. Now slowly walk your hands back through the center. Ground your hands down into the floor, step it back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees or toes, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, left foot between your hands. Tap the knee, rise. Exhale, hands forward. Step to your forward fold and stay here. Head, neck, and shoulders heavy. Now heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. So your heels are on the mat, your toes are beginning to reach off of the mat. You might like to use your blocks here or just your fingertips on the floor. Inhale as you lengthen through your spine. Your knees open wide and your torso sinks between the thighs. Ground into your left foot and step your right foot back to lizard. So I want my hands right underneath the chest, my left knee directly over the ankle with my knee wider than my torso. You can stay active, pressing the back of your right leg to the ceiling or drop down and untuck the toes. In either option, you can choose to stay on your hands and your blocks. You can turn down to a lower setting, and you can also reach long through your head and spine and begin to drop down onto the elbows underneath your chest, blocks or not. Again, this can be active, or this can be relaxed. Once your spine is long and you have found where you want to land, make sure your hips aren't higher than your head. Keep reaching to the head, then you can relax the head, neck, and shoulders.
I just need to catch a break.
Both hands walk down to the floor. or to your blocks. Tap that right knee down to the floor if it's not there already. Take your left hand to your left thigh and rotate your right ribs towards the left thigh, reaching through your head, relaxing your shoulders, down and back. You can stay here in your twist or bend that right knee and reach up and around to grab onto the ankle or the foot. Sink into the front of your right hip, but keep your belly strong, your head reaching long. Slowly unwind back to the center. Now tuck those back toes and take a hop to the top of your mat. Again, your feet are wide. Gently bend your knees, let yourself fall into a nice wide forward fold. Now your hands will walk back to your blocks or the floor at any height. Sit your hips back, extend your spine, and now ground into your right foot and step your left foot way back to your lizard lunge. You can stay active here. Make sure your right knee is right over the ankle. Your hands come back underneath your chest. Active, press your back of your thigh to the ceiling, or drop the knee down, untuck the toes. Let this right knee be wider than your torso, but you're still pressing down firm into the foot. You can choose to stay here, sinking into the front of this left hip. You can turn your blocks or bend your elbows, coming down to maybe a different height. Again, your hip shouldn't be higher than your head. So if you find that your hip stops sinking and your torso is leading the way, then come back out of it a little bit. Reach long through the spine, sink into the front of the hip, and then you can let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Hands come back underneath you on your blocks or on the floor. Reach long through the head. Begin to twist your left ribs to the right thigh, hand to thigh. Reach to your head, draw your shoulders down. You can stay right here or bend the left knee, reach the right arm around, grab onto the foot. Stay heavy, sinking into your right hip, into your left hip. Come on, twist it up. And then slowly come back around. Now this time we're gonna push back into your hips, take your right knee underneath you, and then let yourself settle back into any kind of child's pose that feels best for you. Knees wide or knees narrow. After that deep opening in the front of the hip flexors, we offer a little bit of compression. Tucking everything back away, safe. It's like a little self-massage with your breath inflating and deflating. Now slowly bring your hands back towards your knees. Pull yourself up or push yourself up to a high kneel. And then we'll swing your legs around to take a seat. Scoot your hips down, plant your feet on the floor, and grab onto your shins nice and active. Draw your shoulders back, puff your chest up, lifting through your sternum. Now squeeze a block between your inner thighs. If you don't have a block, that's fine. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Rock back onto your tailbone, keep that sternum lifting, and you can pull on your legs to draw your chest up, keep your spine long, squeeze that block. Now you can let go, keep the chest lifted. We don't want to cave. We want to keep lifting long out of the heart, squeezing your block, turning your thighs in towards each other. So we have a tendency to let them splay out, so try to turn them in, lift up and hold. 2 more breaths. When you're ready, tap your toes down to the floor. Give yourself a nice little hug. Release your block if you had it. And then take a slow and supported roll down the spine to your back. When you arrive, Step your feet in close to your hips. Plant your palms down by your side. And we're gonna drive down into the heels. Tuck your belly down and move from your glutes and your hamstrings, lifting up into bridge. With the belly engaged, you'll keep the low back long. Push your kneecaps away from you so that low back lengthens. If you'd like here, you can roll the shoulder blades underneath you, clasp your hands together, and press your knuckles towards your heels. Again, don't crank into the low back. Keep the belly strong to be here. Press down into the heels. Keep a fire in the glutes. Your legs are strong. 3 more breaths. Slowly unclasp if you're there. Unroll the shoulders and tuck your belly down to roll your low back to the floor as slowly as you can. Once you arrive, walk the legs out long, turn your palms to the ceiling, and land. Noticing your breath, allowing yourself to drop in. Scanning up and down the body. Just like bullet points, you're taking notes of the heaviest areas. And then all those softer areas in between that do so much work to hold up these heavy areas. Let them relax. You might enjoy pulling a blanket in. I like to keep it rolled or folded right on top of my hips like a weighted blanket. Get any fidgeting out of the way if you need to adjust. And then back to your breath. Landing right where you need to be. Nowhere else to be and nothing to do. But take this time to give back to yourself. Repeating that mantra or another silent mantra to yourself as you continue to observe the breath in the body. Of whatever you're holding on to. And feel the natural movement that comes with your breath. Slide your blanket or your props out of the way if they're there. Begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes, and circle the ankles and the wrists. And then we'll gently draw one knee followed by the other towards your chest. And take a gentle rock side to side. Reach that left arm up by your ear and slowly roll yourself over to your left side. Heavy. and slow, being gentle with yourself because you don't have to rush to be anywhere. When you're ready, press down into that hand. Stretch your top leg out long, and as lazy as you can, roll yourself up to a tall, comfortable seat. Grounding down into the sits bones, rising through the chest and the head. Inhale to join your palms together in front of your heart. Exhale as you bow your head to yourself in gratitude for taking this time for self-practice, for getting stronger, and knowing that everything you do today will be enough. With your next inhale, rising tall. And I thank you all so much for sharing this practice. Namaste.